What if everything you've ever been taught about history is only part of the truth? What if your entire life has been built on a story that was never complete? What if the history you learned in school was only half the truth? And what if the real truth was deliberately hidden from you? A civilization so advanced that the structures it left behind still confuse modern engineers today. A civilization that existed over 12,000 years ago, at a time when we're told humans were still primitive. So maybe the real question isn't whether they existed or not. The real question is, if they did, then where did they go? And the most dangerous question of all, are we repeating their mistake? Stay with me, because what you're about to see might change everything you think you know.
Modern history is often presented as a straight line. Primitive humans, then farming, then villages, then cities, and finally, civilizations. Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley. It all feels logical. It all feels simple. But here's the problem. Reality is rarely that simple. According to science, around 12,000 years ago, humans were just trying to survive. No complex tools, no advanced engineering, no organized religion. Just small groups struggling to stay alive. But then, something was discovered. Something that doesn't fit this model at all. A place that shouldn't exist. A structure that should have been impossible for its time. And after that discovery, historians were left with two choices. Either rewrite everything we thought we knew, or set it aside. And it seems the second option was chosen. Evidence 1. Göbekli Tepe. The discovery that shouldn't exist. In the southeast of Turkey, beneath an unremarkable hill, in the 1970s, archaeologists discovered something unusual. At first, it was dismissed as a simple burial site, but when excavation began, what emerged didn't fit the story we thought we knew. Gobekli Tepe. What they found here were massive circular structures. At the center of each circle stood two giant T-shaped pillars, and surrounding them were dozens more. These weren't random stones. They were precisely cut, perfectly shaped, deliberately placed. And the carvings on them so detailed that even today they're difficult to replicate. But the most shocking part? This entire site dates back to 9,600 BC. That's thousands of years before the pyramids, before Stonehenge, and long before we're told humans even understood farming. So who built this? Where did they get this knowledge? And here's something even more unsettling. This wasn't part of a city. There were no houses, no signs of daily life. This appears to have been a ceremonial site, which means these people weren't just surviving. They understood symbolism, planning, and something deeper, something spiritual. And then, one day, they buried it. Not destroyed it, buried it, on purpose, carefully, deliberately, as if someone made a decision to hide it. But why? Were they trying to protect something? Or were they trying to preserve it for the future? Evidence 2. The catastrophe/Younger Dryas. Now the picture becomes clearer. Around 12,800 years ago, Earth was entering a stable period. Temperatures were balanced, life was gradually developing. Human civilization was beginning to evolve. But then, something happened. According to many scientists, fragments of a massive comet entered Earth's atmosphere, and the impacts may have struck across multiple regions: North America, Greenland, and possibly even parts of Europe. What followed was catastrophic. Massive fires erupted across the planet. The atmosphere filled with smoke and dust. Sunlight was blocked. Temperatures suddenly collapsed. And then, the Ice Age returned. But this time, it happened fast. So fast that entire ecosystems began to collapse. Animals disappeared. Species went extinct. And if an advanced civilization really did exist, it may not have survived a disaster like this. But maybe some people did survive. And maybe they carried the memory of what happened. Because across nearly every ancient culture on Earth, the same story appears again and again. A great flood, a world destroyed, a warning passed down from generation to generation. Evidence 3. Lost knowledge. Now comes the most confusing part. If this civilization was destroyed, then what happened to its knowledge? Some believe that knowledge was not completely lost. Instead, it survived in fragments, broken pieces passed down through maps, ancient texts, and stories that refused to disappear. One of the strangest examples is the Piri Reis map. This is not just a map, it is a puzzle. Its creator himself claimed that he made it using older sources, which means he may have had access to maps far older than his own time. Maps that carried knowledge from a world we no longer remember. And then comes the idea of Atlantis. Plato did not describe it like a simple myth. He gave details, an advanced society, an organized civilization, and a sudden destruction. Then there is the Sumerian king list, an ancient record that speaks of kings who ruled before the flood. Kings said to have ruled for thousands of years. It sounds impossible, maybe even exaggerated. But what if it was symbolic? What if those numbers were not meant to be taken literally, but as a memory of a timeline we have forgotten? A lost age, a broken history. And the most important question is this: is our history incomplete? Evidence 4. Underwater world. If a civilization was destroyed, then where should its remains be? The answer is simple: beneath the ocean. 12,000 years ago, sea levels were much lower than they are today, which means many areas that are underwater now were once dry land. And when the ice melted, the oceans rose, and everything disappeared beneath the waves. Then there is the Yonaguni Monument. Perfect right angles, step-like structures, sharp edges that don't easily look natural. Then there is Dwarka, off the coast of India, an ancient city now beneath the water. Walls, roads, structures. And then, near Cuba, deep beneath the ocean, there are strange anomalies. And when researchers connect these sites together, one thing becomes difficult to ignore. This does not feel random. It feels like a pattern, fragments of a lost civilization. Conclusion. Now, one final thought. If all of this is true, then what are we? Are we really the first advanced civilization? Or are we just another chapter, a cycle repeating again and again? A civilization rises, it grows, it becomes powerful, and then one day, it disappears. And after that, a new civilization begins without ever knowing what came before it. And if that cycle is real, then there is one more question. Are we next? The evidence was never lost. It was buried. And if this is not just a theory, but a warning, then watch the next episode, because Hidden Archives has only just begun to open.